Yeah, looking forward to this one, Neil, I must say. Very intriguing match indeed. Interesting to see. It's going to be hard to live up to the semi-final yesterday and all those century breaks, but I'm sure the quality is just going to be as good here tonight. Mark Allen, full of confidence after beating Ronnie O'Sullivan. And certainly not afraid of the prospect of taking on the world #1. Judd Trump, of course, though. 5 centuries in the best of 11 match. If that doesn't give you confidence, I don't know what will. No problem with his chalk in his waistcoat pocket.
I think what happens, Ken, is those pockets get worn out, don't they, after a while, all the times you put the chalk in and out of them.
He has this red to go on down the right hand side, but he's slightly hampered with the yellow. It's not so straightforward, this.
One.
Yeah, nice pot, nicely controlled for the black into the left centre. This table, of course, was recovered for last night's semi-final and absolutely playing beautifully. Both players were very complimentary about it. And very conducive, of course, to the high breaks we saw yesterday.
Nine.
He's got an angle on the pink, but I don't think he'll go into the reds here. Or maybe he will. I mean, he's blessed with a lot of Q power, as we know. Didn't go in full-blooded because just trying to dislodge a few, which he did. And always, of course, knew he was going to be on this red to the right centre. It was a clever little shot, that.
$15.
But once again, slightly hampered with the pack of reds. Like to avoid the blue here and try and get top side of the blue if you can. It's
16.
impossible. Avoiding the kiss on the blue. So yellow off 2 cushions now.
Yellow
for
ball.
red. Probably left of the black. Bit of pressure on this. I know it's early doors, but first rest shot. No problem. Good pot, but he's struggling a little bit at the moment. Still keeping
18.
the break going, though. He's going to need another good red here.
Judd Trump, 18.
Well, the break was a bit of a struggle from the start to the finish. As well as he pots, sometimes you just can't pot them all. That was quite a loose one, not quite settled in yet, these two. We expect a very high standard. Of course, last night was something else. 3 centuries each. Neil Robertson and Mark Selby. He may not quite reach those heights, but no reason to believe it shouldn't be a very high standard match.
Yeah, totally agree. The quality is certainly there. The confidence is there for both players. Now this is a shot. He's already had one good shot with the rest. He's going to need another one here. No.
Seemed to hit that in the same place as the one he just missed into that pocket, didn't he? That top jaw. Thought it might drop in, but didn't manage to. Well, that's the one part of Markello's game that he'll need to make sure he's as good as that. He's got to keep that cue ball under the cushion, bolt cushion all the time, because Judd Trump is as good a long potter as we've seen in this sport. On the rankings, he's a long way clear at world number 1, 600,000 points in front of anybody else. O'Sullivan is second. Of course, he won the world title, and that's worth 500,000 points, as did was Judd the year before. They're way clear of Neil Robertson. In fact, Trump's got double the points that Robertson has. 16. 1,600,000 over 800,000 roughly.
Yeah, it's quite incredible how far he's ahead, isn't it? You know, he's been so consistent over the last couple of years, winning so many of the big tournaments, and particularly out in China as well, where the big money tournaments, the World Championship, of course, as you mentioned.
I think that the way that the prize money for these events are structured, it's always very top heavy, isn't it? If you can win the tournament, then you get a lot more points than just a regular quarter or semi-finalist. A long look at this. Oh, that looks to be it wasn't a very big target. It was a good shot, Ken, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. It could have easily, particularly with that left-hand side, it could have slid off the bunch of reds. And being on a red here, but he played it beautifully. He was in a bit of trouble there. Glued to the ball cushion. Judged very nicely indeed. You would feel should be back up somewhere similar to where he was a minute ago. Try and get it tight to this ball cushion once again for Mark Allen. Nicely played.
Played it in such a way the cue ball was going to end up in bulk, so he knew that the pot was not a certainty by any means. Element of safety involved in that.
One.
The kind of shot that had there been spectators, it might have got a clap, but as you saw, he didn't mean it. There's a pretty series of balls struck each other there. The one to go into the pocket.
Yeah, extremely fortunate, and nicely on this brown into the left centre. He's just having a look. I think he's got a slide angle to pot the brown, maybe just missed the blue.
Five.
there is an argument that Mark Allen should have won more. Been pro 15 years, 5 ranking titles. He actually retained the World Open. He won it in 2012. At the time, he didn't seem all that pleased about playing overseas, but he won that and won it the next year. He also won the International Championship, where he was absolutely brilliant. Players' Championship in 2016, and the Scottish Open is last, coming up 2 years. Strange thing about that is, the Scottish Open, when he won it, just got beaten in the final of the UK Championship, and I think he treated it like a little pre-Christmas break. Enjoyed himself, found himself at the latter stages, and went on to win it. But the other thing, of course, he's won is the Masters. Not ranking, but highly prestigious.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll really relish the chance of taking on
13.
the world #1 tonight. He's certainly one of those players, he's full of confidence, isn't he? He's
14.
confident in his own ability. If he plays well, he thinks he can beat anybody. It's a good attitude to have. And this is where he's at his best. Playing these nice little cannons in around the black, developing reds. Got a very short backswing. And it certainly helps on these fast clots.
21.
He's got great control of the cue ball. Very good break builder.
22.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you hear players complain about springy bounces off cushions. I guess Mark Allen, there are occasions when he doesn't use the cushions. He hasn't got that problem. He just keeps that cue ball in the centre of the table. Can't do that all the time, but he does it, I think, more than many other players. Obviously, upon this red, he'll be bouncing off the cushion, but he's very close again to the red. Play it very
29.
gently.
Thirty. $37.
Not as straight as he would have liked to be on this red into the corner. He is on the red into the right centre. So I may go up for blue here.
$38.
And the red just to the right of the pink spot will be available for him here now. And the way the situation of the reds at the moment, it's very, very nice to win the frame from this visit.
43.
All started with a fluke, of course, but it's what you make of it.
44. $50. 51.
this really is a very impressive start. I guess if you've never seen Mark Allen play
57.
snooker before, which may well be possible, even though he's a well-known player, the point we're making about how he break builds has been just
58.
everything about what this break's all about. Had tremendous control of the cue ball throughout. That one just going in off the top jaw. Otherwise, he's in pole position now. One more red required.
64.
Where did he unlock this break? Very impressive.
65. $72. 73.
Well, we had 6 centuries in last night's semi-final. We could have one at the beginning of this one. It'll depend
80.
on this red, of course. Yeah, nice shot.
81.
Nicely out for the black. Now, good positional shot. Black to yellow. Good stuff.
88. 90. 93.
Well, it started from this shot. He didn't have a look at the pack, but nice little 4-ball planned, Neil, to start it off.
Yeah, and of course,
97.
it's easier to forget that sort of thing when you watch how brilliant he's made it since, but Judd Trump won't have forgotten about it. You're sitting in your chair and you store them up, and he's gone on to make a century in that position. A very good break, other than the opening red, which was all luck. Well, that's the end of that, but the century has already been chalked up, and so as the first frame, an excellent start. It's 1-0 Mark Allen over Judd Trump. Well, there's 2 of the 3 men still in. Neil Robertson, of course, in the final. Judd there, hoping to make it. Of course, they met in the final last year. 16 started and just 3
The
are
second
in
frame,
still.
Mark Allen to break.
A very good start after that fluke from Mark Allen. All his break building skills seem to be there. And of course, we've seen such a huge amount of centuries, all those made yesterday, and to start this match with another one. Standard really has been through the roof this week.
Nice little nudge off the brown there, but it was a good safety shot either way. Referee Tatiana Willison just making sure to should mark Allen foul here. She knows exactly where the position of the cue ball will go back to, and that's the reason why.
Foul. No miss. Judd Trump 4.
Judd Trump coming down to have a look at this red. Now, earlier on in the week, these of course were very tight along this rail, but as I said, new cloth on the table makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. He wouldn't have probably taken that on, Neil, in the middle part of this week, but when the new clock goes on, it makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it? Although it was a great pot.
Yeah, I wonder if it helped that he was just running through to finish cue ball in behind the black. Kind of helped him to guide it, but he played it at such a good pace as
8.
well. Never in any doubt, was it, how big the pockets are.
Great opener. Now
9.
chance for counter attack from the world number 1. He'll want to stamp his authority on this match early on. Already seen his opponent is in good form.
16.
He set a marker down. See what answer
17.
Judd Trump can come up with.
Just one moment, Judd, please.
The referee just asking Judd for a moment so she can position the pink in line with its own spot. Doesn't go in its spot, of course, so directly in line as close as it can.
Keep getting some messages from a chat
Thank
who
you.
seem to think there should be an extra
23.
spot on the table somewhere when that happens. But what happens when the extra spot's got a ball on it as well? Didn't seem to have the answer to that. People always trying to think of things
24.
that would help, but sometimes it complicates things even more.
$29. 30.
And purposely left a nice angle now. Watch the cue ball here as he goes into the pack. He's one of the best in the world at this particular shot. Oh, didn't get a lot of split, any sort of reaction on the reds. He went into it with certainly a
35.
bit of pace, but it didn't move that much.
No, you'd have expected more to happen there than just a couple of reds move. Now he's eyeing up something in the bunch as well.
Judd Trump, 35.
I don't know about you, Neil, but that sounded like a very, very heavy contact. I know he was trying to slight swerve, but it sounded very, very heavy. He might have got a kick on that.
Yeah, I think the fact that you miss them on the thick side of the pot often means it's a kick. I mean, it's the worst thing as a commentator to be talking about kicks. No one wants to. And they don't play such a big part in the game. I think the advancement in the chalk and other things, they still come up every now and then. You'd play it. There would be some conditions would play on where you'd get a kick about every 2 or 3 shots on some tables, some horrible occasions. This might go on a while. Of course, Judd wouldn't want a re-rack with a 39-point lead. So the onus is really on him to do something here.
Yeah, I think Mark Allen is playing that card, isn't he? He had a red that was next to the brown to maybe have a go at. Okay, knew exactly it was a little bit dangerous with this red over the right corner, but he's forcing Judge's hand here a little bit.
Yeah, he'll do that all day, I think. Yeah, I mean, if it's just a few points here or there, 10 points, whatever, I think you'd forego that. 39 points, you're not going to be looking for a re-rack, can are you? If you do that few in front.
No, definitely not. Wasn't there a frame in the World Championship? I think it was between Steve Davis and Doug Mountjoy. It went down to the blue ball, blue, pink and black, and they They had a re-rack. Do you remember that all those years ago?
I remember something like it. The ball's got stuck in the pocket, didn't it? So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think just Mark is playing that so quickly as he's kind of making his feelings known here. He's he's asked if he wants a re-rack, and of course Judd is not. That would be a last resort. Because there is that argument that people have said that if you re-rack the balls, maybe the points should still be there from the previous frame. That would solve this. He might win one then. But that's not the rule as it stands.
Yeah, I think that's the shot. Now Mark Allen can play. Well, is he going to play? He could play off the side cushion here and stop all this. He could have played the side cushion, knocked the red onto the side cushion.
Point is, he's just not going to get a re-rack, is he? As simple as that. Unless the referee intervene, which is possible. Tatiana Wollaston, the referee tonight. Wife of tour player Ben Wollaston.
Right, you have to develop the situation here now, okay? You
Well,
have
I
to
think-
develop the situation now. So 3 shots each. And if we're not, if still
I think-
here, going to re-rack it.
Tatiana has said 3 shots each, which I think that's very fair, and Judd will do something in those 3 shots. At the end of that, if there's no change, the balls will be set up again, so she can enforce a re-rack. So I think
Well, if this was touching ball here. No, it's not touching. See, Judd is hoping for a touching ball, and then he can lay the cue ball somewhere up near the yellow pocket. But he'll try and leave the cue ball this time. It's not touching ball, so he's got to leave the cue ball.
it's an interesting one though, Ken, because Judd did actually do something, didn't he?
Yeah.
He moved the balls away, and it was. So did that not end? It wasn't that long that all this was going on for.
I think Mark Allen, once again, he's forcing. I think once the cue ball is separated from the reds, I mean, it was quite early for Tatiana to actually force a re-rack here. I think maybe if he tries to brush off the pack and leave the cue ball down into the near the green pocket, force Mark Allen to maybe take this red on.
Well, this is Judd's 3rd shot since she made the not so much a warning, just a request really. Actually, she's one of the best referees I think in the game, Tatiana. I think she's excellent, and I don't mind her making a decision like that, because I think sometimes referees need to take a position on things where there's a bit of a stalemate. Now this is the point. Now Judd did that though earlier. Now if Mark Allen runs back into the bunch, surely they can't re-rack them then.
Well, see, Mark Allen has the chance here to go off the side cushion. Obviously, he's not going to do that, but now Judd Trump might be able to knock the cue
I'm
ball.
giving you last shot each from now. Yeah.
He might be able to knock the cue ball up towards the yellow pocket and maybe block this red nail down that's over the bottom right hand corner pocket.
I'm not sure how that all works, because he'd actually played a positive shot there, Judd. But you're right, he's got to play up the table now. That's quite a controversial one. Now what happens now if Mark Allen rolled into the bunch again? It's not Trump's fault, is it? He can pop one though, just as well, maybe.
One. 4.
Be an interesting one actually if he goes on to win the fray from here. There's a different little set of circumstances to what we're used to there.
Five.
Well, this frame could depend on this particular shot. Blue into the pack of reds. Just checking to see is there a possible plant when he hits them hard. Shaking his head. So the 2 reds off the pink. Here you see it. 2 reds aren't the direct plant, but maybe off the pink, and that's what you're having a look at there. May not play this as hard as he would like, just in case that is a plant. Oh, he hasn't gone for it. Trying to... Oh, he wants to slow down. He just has top red of the
10.
bunch pots into the left corner pocket, but at some stage he's going to have to go into those reds.
Eleven.
Oh, it's particularly well played again.
16.
And a very sort of whippy
Thank you.
cue action. Cue speed is very good for, as Ken pointed out, very short, punchy backswing. To play that shot
17.
and get all that pace on the cue ball shows you the kind of player he is.
Yeah, he's knocked that red to the left hand side cushion, and Judd Trump will be delighted. Oh, he's missed this. Maybe
Mark Allen. 17.
using a lot of side on the cue ball to try and get it over to the right hand side of the pack. Have a look at this. Lots of left hand side.
One of those shots, Ken, isn't it? That you know, you're playing it with that side, and it looks a bad shot, but he's doing a bit with the cue ball, isn't he? He's the reason he missed it.
One.
Yeah, just lost the cue ball. This is not easy to control. This. Pot the black. Oh, wow.
Judd Trump. 1.
It's quite lucky actually to hit the green and brown. The cue was careering back up towards the reds, wasn't it? You've got a long pot, but it's not an easy starter.
One. Thank you. 3. Four.
Just wondering if when he puts this brown, will he leave an angle on the next red? Try and take that red out off the side cushion. Yeah, he's got a lovely angle here. Purposely played this. pot this red, take the red just above the pink.
8.
Yeah, lovely shot.
9.
He's okay. He's on black into the top left-hand corner pocket. That red is available over the middle.
It'll be a big shot, isn't it, if he plays the black? There's a lot riding on this. He's done so much work to get the red out. If he misses the black, of course, he leaves it for his opponent. It's a big shot, this. Played it very confidently. Another one of the players on the tour who's a left-hander, but he uses the rest as a right-hander. I think that's a bit unusual, but
16.
you are not able to do it. The man who's playing is one of them.
17. 22.
Having a quick look at the scoreboard. He's 1 point behind. Green ball will be the pivotal ball in this frame. I wonder will he be able to take the green out here when potting this red. Tried to.
23.
It's okay. He's on the blue. Stun the blue into this bottom right-hand corner pocket. They have a nice angle on the yellow. That looks pretty good.
28.
Probably need the extension for this particular shot. See, can he reach it? It's a bit of a stretch. He's okay. He's got a lovely angle. He can pot the yellow, try and move the green at the same time. Big shot this. Oh, excellent
30.
shot.
He's played 2 first-class cannons in this frame. Eyeing up 2 choices here, bottom left and the right middle, which is very thin, and of course the cue ball is travelling a long way around the table for the brown.
$33.
Well, look at this for a shot, Ken. Just a fraction short of being absolutely as good as it gets.
Very nicely judged, wasn't it? And when he came to the table, I mean, the table was quite, it was a red safe, the green was safe. He's really worked this opportunity very well. 10 points in the lead. Just brown and blue required. Yeah, it's there, and he's on the blue.
37.
So looking like 2-0 lead for Mark Allen. Trump can count himself very unfortunate here. Fluke cost him the first frame. Mark Allen went on to make a century. He was in with 39 and this got a kick on the red. Had another chance, missed the black, but this blue got 19 ahead. There's 13 remaining.
42.
This has been an excellent break now.
Well, it really has. It was never easy. Some of the shots in there have been very good, very complicated shots.
48
that's
in the
excellent.
frame.
That really
Mark
is a
Allen.
top-class clearance in the end. The frame that Judd Trump had dominated early on. He didn't go on and win it. It's Mark Allen who gets the job done, and he leads Judd Trump 2 frames to nil. He did look like winning until Mark Allen made a very good clearance. A couple of very difficult balls along the way. Sometimes they're the frames that make all the difference at the end of a
Push the rest in.
Yeah, no problem.
match which is pretty tight on paper.
Thank you.
Had to catch the extreme right hand side of the red as we looked. Catching the blue layers left. Chance for Judd Trump. Potted one, missed one with the rest. Nicely
One.
played.
Six.
Yeah, I was trying to play on a couple of reds there. 2 reds. He's on here into the right centre. But also that red just right of the black.
7.
He's coming around to have a look at the black. The black will it pot into this bottom left hand corner pocket. There you see, it doesn't, so may go for the red left of the pink here out in the open.
Ten. 11. 16.
Well, he's on a choice of reds here. He's on do a bit of work with the cue ball. May take the. He'd love to take the red just to the right of the black. He's not on it as nice as he would like.
17.
It's gone wrong. It was a good idea trying to bring the black into play, but wanted to
Yellow
bounce
ball.
that cue ball off this top cushion a bit more. A bit unlucky there.
Judd Trump. 17.
Well, he played it at a very interesting pace, didn't he? He hit it very hard because he tried, as you say, to push the black nearer the pocket off the other red. Trump made 5 centuries in his match the other night. second match, which took him into this semi-final against David Gilbert. He's made 18 already this season. Last year, of course, he made 102 centuries. The record for a season is 103. The man who awaits the winner of this match in the final, Neil Robertson.
It's quite credible, isn't it? A return of 103 centuries and 102 respectively in one season.
That was quite a dangerous way of playing it, wasn't he? Yeah, moving all those reds. He's only left quite a difficult starter.
Yes, when you're 2-0 ahead, you feel pretty confident taking these particular reds on. He's going to take one into this right corner pocket. He's got the red left of the blue as well. But when you're 2-0 behind, there's that added pressure. That's why he's taking a bit more time. This is a tough pot. The one he's looking at, as we look down the line, it's very tight. He's on that red at all. He doesn't have an easy safety shot, so he's got to take one of these on. So here goes.
He's got the feeling he was more forced into it than wanted to play it, because he'd have played it, I think, a little sooner than the time when he did. He looked at it for quite a while. Didn't really fancy it.
Clever little shot there from Mark Allen. Took the red on, but playing it with an element of safety, and that's exactly what he's got. Another very tough situation here for Judd Trump. Looking to see if he can find a gap. Cue ball back to ball. A lot of balls in the way here. This is brilliant. Excellent. Needs the cue ball to get tight to this ball cushion, because he's going to leave a red, but that's about as best as he could do. There's no doubt he's getting a lot of run so far tonight, Mark Allen. But he's left Judd Trump a half chance here. wonderful pot.
1.
Right in the heart of the pocket. Excellent shot that.
Three.
Actually overhit this. He's trying to get on those two reds just below the black spot, one into left corner pocket, one into right corner pocket, but as you see, cue ball's just travelled a couple of inches too far.
Well, the red goes past the black. It's not the one he played on, and it's a little bit thin. I don't think he can get to it all that easily. Well, this is in the middle. It's quite a difficult shot. I'm playing tough the middles.
Judd trump. 3.
Hitting the near jaw. There's not much pocket to aim at from there.
Well, here we go again. We have another little bit of cat and mouse here. Judd not having any of it this time. Taking the cue ball into ball and sacrificing his position, really. Leaving an easy safety shot for Mark Allen.
Options are a bit thin on the ground there. I don't know if he played it at full ball. He was always going to leave this red on. It's not an easy starter. But Trump was certainly in quite a bit of difficulty on that last shot.
Yeah, it was the previous shot, wasn't it, where he didn't want to get involved in another little battle and dropping, nestling into reds once again, as happened in the previous frame. Left Mark Allen with an easy safety shot
6.
to avoid that and put himself back in trouble. was a nice shot. Perfectly played. The black into this right corner pocket.
$14. 15. 22. 23.
They look like a possible plant, don't they, those two reds? Maybe not dead set. Certainly can be made, but he has an angle on this red. He could go into those three reds and just bring them all
29.
into play here and still stay on the black. He's not on the
30.
black. Didn't hit the proper red. He's still on the ping.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of a risk attached, aren't there, to shots like that? As you say, if it's at the bottom red or the right-hand red, then there's no way he can not be on the black. Problem with the pink, Ken, is that I don't think he can get centre ball striking easily. The black, as you can see, is not available.
Yeah, pink is awkward, isn't it? Risky. It's not too bad, is he going to take it on? Doesn't look like it. Keeping it tight. That's a
Mark
great
Allen,
shot.
30.
It's a wonderful shot to cover this red down the left hand side. Couldn't have played that much better.
I just wonder if Judd will now look at these two reds, because he's got hardly any safety shot, and the plant at least gives him hope that there's a pot available. Maybe it's a little too much. He could make it into a plant, especially where the cue ball is, you know, that line. But it just may be that he feels that it could cost him the frame if he was to miss it. Question is, what else can he do? Might be having a look at this. Well, his worst fears, I think, there. It may well end up costing him the frame now.
He was sort of forced into it, wasn't he?
One.
So 11 points ahead. Black will be 18. Don't need the red around near the right hand side cushion. You can get 18 points or more with the three open reds. So we'll have a look at the scoreboard here. He'll do his calculations. He's got to
8.
make sure he's got to get 18 points or more from the three open reds, and he'll be 36 points in the lead with 35 remaining.
9. 14. $15. $19.
Well, now, there could be a
Mark Allen,
plot twist
19.
here. Not only has he missed the red, he's brought the other red into play. Just had to force it a little bit. Lost his cue action slightly, I think. Oh dear, goodness. Is the first red? Didn't look particularly difficult. I guess it went. He did seem to come quite close to the black. Maybe it was tight.
1.
Well, amazing. Mark Allen made that mistake, but it was like it never happened. Straight back at the table. Yeah, Judd Trump, 74% pot success is not going to be good enough to beat any of these players. You do well to beat anyone on the tour with a pot success as low as that.
7.
So from his point of view, things can only get better, but they're going to have to.
Mark Allen, 7.
Well, that was in. Judd, I guess, feels obliged to carry on here. He probably doesn't want to. I think you've got to try and see if you can pull something out of nowhere. It all does not appear well with him tonight. He's struggling a bit.
Frame conceded.
No,
Frame.
he's had
Mark
enough
Allen.
in the end, Judd. So that's another frame for Mark Allen. Judd Trump lacklustre so far, it has to be said. Mark Allen doing what he has to do, and the leaders increase. He's 3-0 up. Yes, and he's missed quite a few pots. I don't understand. Obviously, I know the game is very difficult, but we rarely see him play quite like this. That's more like it.
1.
Yeah, what a massive frame this is for Judd Trump. Try and close the gap before the mid-session interval. Oh, this is not in either.
Judd Trump, 1.
So, loose form continues.
One.
Mark Allen will be putting every effort in here. Try and keep his opponent. He has his opponent exactly where he wants him.
8. Nine.
Oh, it's gone wrong. Still on the yellow or green with the rest, but a bit more difficult than he would have liked. This is a massive frame, isn't it, Neil? In the, you know, for both players, Mark Allen, I'd love to win all four. It'd be hard to see a comeback from there. If anyone can Trump could do it, but not with that pot success rate at the moment.
Oh, I guess we saw it once this week. A 4-0 deficit turned around. Karen Wilson then 4-0 and 5-3
11.
against Mark Selby, but Selby won 6-5. Although it's not going to happen all the time, and Selby is probably the one man that makes comebacks like that. So you're right, this frame is big.
12.
At the moment, Judd can only sit and watch though.
$18. $19. $26. $27.
He's coming
I
around.
think that,
Sorry.
sorry, yeah, Ken, just saying that he was someone that didn't get into it as a right mark, wasn't he? He was 13 players who won something, and Mark got in there as the ranking list. Unusual. Anyway, what a good shot that was.
Yeah, it's quite incredible that he hadn't won anything to
33.
force his way into this championship, but there by right of ranking, as you say. But that was another wonderful shot to develop. Those 4 reds,
34.
and he's up and altering again here, a little bit straight on the black.
$41. $42.
He's a very inspired player, really, when everything is working for him. He can be quite devastating at times, his break building. Not been quite like that tonight, but he's part of the important shots. And I think he's fed off
49.
Judd Trump's mistakes, and he certainly has sensed that he's not in the best of form tonight. Don't know why. You get no reading from him, as if you can tell that something's wrong, but he's definitely not playing anything like his status in the game. Anything that he's had,
50.
he's ended up making an error from.
Yeah. Getting close now. 50 breaking. Another couple of reds and high value colours after this black.
$57. $58.
Nicely on the pink into the left centre. We can just stun for the red just to the left of the pink here. Delicate little shot. Maybe hold a spot. Or just above it, but he's nicely on this red. Now you see the score, 63 ahead, 67 remain, just this red. And
64.
it's 4-0. And what a scoreline this is for Mark Allen. Nobody would have predicted this. We thought it was going to be
65.
a very close encounter. So one-way traffic at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if it is to end up a close match, then clearly Judd is going to have to really step up. Well,
Mark Allen, 65.
he thought at first it was in, but it was always staying at the top jaw. We've seen a lot missed in that way on these tables, these Rasson tables this week. Played beautifully. As I say, the odd ball in the middle has gone astray. So snooker's required. I think he might have an idea to get on. If he could pot the pink, then the red below the pink is an obvious shot to get a snooker behind on the last red.
8.
And that might be on his mind. He'll lose an extra point in playing the pink.
9.
Certainly something I would be thinking about, because you can get a good snooker if he's right down. Pink's on its spot and the red below it. He's got an angle to just push it up the table. He might have that as a plan. I think that's what he's aiming for, Ken. And now a question of getting himself into the
16.
position to get the snooker behind the pink, perhaps, and get the red up near a bulk colour for the possible free ball. What his thought process will be.
Yeah, completely agree.
17.
Needs a good angle on this pink though to make sure that he can come down. Doesn't have to finish low on the red, but it would be better. Looks like he's straight. Yeah, could finish high and knock the red but up the table, but he's going to need 2 4-point snookers, but one free ball of course would sort that out for himself. Now Imperative gets as tight to the pink with the
23.
cue ball as possible and try and get that red somewhere close to a ball colour.
Judd Trump, 23.
Okay, it's a snooker, but not a very difficult one to hit for Mark Allen.
Yeah, and also highly unlikely to leave a free ball, even if he does miss it, I would say. Pace he's likely to play it at. Might have got away with one there, Mark Allen. Could have been in more trouble.
Short of pace, and this red is on for Mark Allen. Long way away. Now where's the red going to finish up? Will he leave an easy snooker for himself? Oh, he's got a chance to get right in behind the blue here. Red down, left of the black, close to the pink even. And this is a much better snooker now.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, Ken, where he might be certainly not pleased to miss it, but if he does, he definitely will be playing it in a way that there's no free ball available. And you see he's missed it, but he's not so disappointed as all that, I'd say. It could have been worse there.
It's not a bad case here for maybe potting the red and bringing the cue ball back down for pink or black. He's 37 points behind, so would need a pink or black off this red and then just one 4-point snooker. Let's see what he gonna play here. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, this.
1.
Pot the black and try and get up very close to the yellow and lay another good snooker maybe behind brown or blue. Yeah, this is very well played. Now he's got a real chance here. Stun in behind the
8.
brown, or he could roll the cue ball up behind the blue. Maybe behind the brown will be better. Once again, he's got to get tight to the brown as possible. Oh, that's a mistake.
Judd trump 8.
Anywhere behind that brown would have been nice, wouldn't it? And difficult, Neil.
Yeah, what a chance it was. I think Mark Allen will be relieved that he can see one here. See the yellow. Thing about these frames that they're quite hurtful when you lose them. You know, we've all lost frames where our opponent needs snookers, and it does set you back a little bit. Wow, that was a risky way of playing it, isn't it? Just needing one snooker. Now Judd has got a chance to get one, I think. Probably not on the yellow. He'll pop this, I should think, now. A bit mystified as to why he missed that one. Oh, he's miscued. Goodness.
Mark Allen 6.
That is a huge relief. Wow. Unbelievable. Didn't think he was doing an awful lot with the cue ball there. Now he's back to 2 snookers that he needs because he hit the pink there. 2 to tie. Well, that's one way of getting a snooker.
Chance maybe getting the cue ball down on the black here. Chip the yellow to the right hand side cushion. Back into balk. Just doesn't look with it, does he? Trump, I don't know what's happened between his match against Dave Gilbert and tonight, but he's certainly not the same player.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that Mark Allen's played well, but not as well as you would have thought to be so far in front. Anyway, there's one of the snookers. Problem is here, if he plays off the left cushion, he and off, he looks like it's not a certainty, but there's a good chance of it.
Yeah, we'll play off top cushion here. A little bit of right hand side just to square up the cue ball. He's missed it.
4. Judd trump 4.
Judd Trump's going to be careful here. He doesn't miss cue again if he's going to try and pot this yellow and deep screw. It would have been a shock to the system there, miscuing there. No.
2.
Pink and black are quite a good target here, aren't they? I mean, he could roll off 1, maybe 2 cushions in behind the black here.
Judd trump 2.
Well, I think when we saw the miscue, I had a feeling he might even just concede the frame there and just go for his 15-minute break, but now he's just back with a glimmer. He's Quite a big swerve if he's going that side. Oh, great shot. Looked even more difficult to go that side of the pink than the other. Again, Judd probably will pop this and then try and get one on the brown. Pretty obvious statement, but the less balls on the table are the left, the less balls to get the snooker behind.
Well, I'm just wondering there, would he pot the brown here and then play in? He'll need only one 5-point snooker on the blue to win. Let's have a look at the scores. If he pots the brown, he'd be 22 points behind on the blue. He's having a look at the score now. Yeah. But of course, as you say, it's more difficult to get snookers with less balls on the table.
Yeah, I guess the other thing though, Ken, as you obviously know, is that the blue where his place was not helping him to get the snookers, and as you said, a big target. It's going to have to come soon, this snooker. As you say, he can win now with the snooker.
Judd trump, 7.
Not tie as it was. Coming in from that angle, the pace had to be absolutely right.
The pink and black are a good target. Maybe able to come off the ball cushion here, just chip the right hand side of this blue. Let's come off the back of it. Maybe that shot wasn't on. This is where Mark will got to keep distance between blue and cue ball. Possible pot on into the right corner pocket.
Well, it's a frame that Mark Allen could have won almost 10 minutes ago, I would have thought, but he's been pegged back a little bit. Doesn't want to put the black safe.
Chance, albeit a small chance, get that cue ball tight behind the black here. Oh no, this has gone wrong. Cue ball coming back down this end of the table. Mark Allen will just try and maybe you would feel roll the blue over one of the corner pockets. In or over will do. Looks pretty good. Looks very good.
5.
Yeah, it was in the end. He's got there. Moment. Let's wait for Judd to concede. Well, it doesn't matter now. It is all over. And Mark Allen has won all of the first 4 frames. Judd Trump, no question, a bit lacklustre. Plenty to think about for him, but into the mid-session interval, it's the man from Antrim holding all the aces here. He leads 4-0.